A farmer's young son is taken by a bizarre winged creature. Soon after, that same creature strands a school bus full of meathead high schoolers in the middle of nowhere. With only one more day to feed before his 23-year hibernation begins again, the Creeper is more dangerous than ever in the 2003 sequel, Jeepers Creepers 2. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And I'm Caleb J.
And this is Filmgazm. Happy Wednesday and welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. In honor of this week's release of the long-awaited sequel/reboot Jeepers Creepers Reborn, we're going back to one of modern horror's most fearsome monsters with Jeepers Creepers 2, a sequel that I believe is on par with the first film and in some ways is even better. So before we get into it, I got a very simple question for you. We've seen the Creeper in this film suffer impalement, decapitation, and even a harpoon through the head. Yet it survived. So my question to you is, what do you think, if anything, can kill this son of a bitch?
That's a good question. Holy water. No, honestly, nothing. Whatever this thing is, which one thing I do enjoy about this franchise, you don't get even with the shitty third film, you don't get a lot of explanation for what the fuck this thing is. One of the things I've gathered is that this thing is damn near indestructible. Nothing's taking it down no matter how hard you try. So I think nothing can truly kill this thing. I think you just have to find a way to survive until the night's over and that 23rd day is done.
I think that once the 23 days are up and you've got this thing just, sleeping, then you can get experimental. I think this has the same rules as like a Dragon Ball character, where like if you're gonna kill it, you got to destroy all of it at the same time, all of it at once, one blast or whatever. So I think throw this fucker in like a tub of molten lead, like the T-1000. I think that would do it, especially if it's sleeping and it can't like fly out.
Maybe, or like a wood chipper, like in Tucker and Dale.
That would do it too. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah, that'll do it. Wood chipper pull that off.
There's crazy kids out there killing themselves.
Oh, love that movie. But I do think that in order to take this thing down, you're gonna have to just obliterate it all at once so it can't regenerate. That's the only way. But how are you ever going to pull that off? This thing's powerful, it's determined, and it is fast. So yeah, good luck.
And as we do learn in the third film, even his stuff, a lot of his stuff, like his gadgets and stuff, for outfit to protect him. So like his Struckenauts outfit to keep him safe if you try to fuck with him while he's hibernating. So he has, he thinks ahead. He probably has shit laid out to ensure no one fucking comes near him while he's asleep.
This thing reminds me so much of Tooms from the X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
Wonder if there was some inspiration there.
Maybe. I mean, well, I mean, like Jeepers Creepers took inspiration from Tooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that was in '93.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, because Jeepers Creepers came out after X-Files. Well, after X-Files, but yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think Creeper is like one of the most criminally underrated horror icons we have. I know it probably has a lot to do with a certain writer involved with this franchise. I think a lot of that, I think unfortunately that has brought a lot of the cultural impact that this film could have, especially the first one, could have had. Because this fucking thing is creepy, and I love how like they're very vague. They don't answer a lot. They don't give you too much about what it's about, and you just know it's like this apparently indestructible, just unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah, it's a bat out of hell, as it's referred to a couple times in this one. And there are all sorts of questions surrounding this thing. Like, my primary one being, how did it get A, a driver's license, and B, a personalized vanity plate? But, these are life's great mysteries.
That's what makes life fun. Maybe Reborn will answer that. I know they apparently go to a house, so it looks like she chills at a house in his off time.
I would love if the cold open is just him waiting in line at the DMV and like getting his picture taken. and then just Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Just him living his day to day off season.
First name the, last name Creeper.
He actually talks like really sophisticated English when it's off season. He's not a monster at all.
That's just he doesn't bring his work home with him. Like I get that.
He's just an upstanding member of society.
Like I got 23 days to go insane. Starting 3, 2, 1. That'd be awesome. I do agree though that the Creeper is an underrated, really cool addition to the horror canon that has been overshadowed by its creator's real life sins, and that is unfortunate.
Yes.
Which is why I'm glad this new one is, out of his hands. Like they took it away from him.
Yeah, it took a minute. There was some scare there because one of the company, I was actually the company that helped distribute this particular installment, tried pulling some shit saying, "Well, you should have talked to us first," and like they tried pulling some shit and bringing it to court and suing them. So we almost got a moment where this wasn't coming out, but I think they settled it out of court because not too long after that we've got confirmation. Hey, it's done. They've settled it. It's coming out this year still.
Good. I don't want another horror franchise trapped in litigation for decades.
Yeah, especially in both cases are noble in my opinion. Like in the first one, it's in Friday 13th. It's hey, we just want to get no one out because Halloween took off. We know we can make money off Jason Voorhees. Let's do this. Let's get our heads together, find a creative new way to bring him back. And then you got a greedy guy, Sean Cunningham. And this one, it was let's bring this. I'm sure people just as ourselves are like, hey, look, we really like this series. We like this creature, this character. Let's try to get it made without a certain person involved this time. Take it away from him and try to just bring it back and give it the type, put it into the place it deserves in horror canon. And then, of course, you have some greedy ass small fry studio being like, well, you should have talked to us first, blah, blah, blah. Meh.
Now I'm just picturing like a small claims court and like a bench outside. Jason's in like a suit and tie and the hockey mask, like ready to, go to court. The Creeper walks in, also wearing a suit, sits down next to Jason. And Jason just looks at him and goes, creative control. The Creeper's like, yeah. It's like, hang in there, brother. You'll be fine. Meanwhile, Michael and Freddie are like high-fiving because they won.
Oh, God.
I just love picturing horror icons when they're not killing and just like living regular lives. Just envisioning that always makes me smile.
Just like their off-season lives are really chill and cool people.
Yeah, like when it's not Halloween, Michael, probably just enjoys, probably has a cabin in Aspen, goes skiing. I don't know. Funny shit. But
anytime it's on a Friday 13th, you're just like, Jason's just like, well, I'm going to chill now.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, so if you want to kill the Creeper, good luck. He'll never die. And apparently there's a comic book series that reveals some origin stuff about this guy. We're going to talk a little bit about that when we get to Filmgazm facts.
I actually didn't know that, so okay.
Yeah, pretty sweet. So Victor Salva, whose crimes and sins I discussed with Christian when we did the first Jeepers Creepers. So I won't go into it here. Long story short, he's a piece of shit. But he never intended on making a sequel to the first film. That's why he established the rule of every 23 years, he gets to feed for 23 days. He's like, it's a one and done. I don't need to make more. Which is weird how some filmmakers are like, don't you ever ask me to make a follow-up to this? It's like, wouldn't you want a successful hit that allows you to go further into something? Like, I don't know. That always doesn't make sense to me.
It's a gift and a curse. I know Adam Green's talked about that behind the Hatchet franchise. He's talked about Hatchet itself, where he's like, he does it because he enjoys doing it, but at the same time, he does to an extent get tired of hearing like, when's the next one coming out? When's the next one coming out? He's like, when I'm ready to do the next one, stop asking.
We were talking about it before we started recording, but there is another flawless franchise.
Oh shit, yeah. I do like all the Hatchet movies. There's not a single one I don't like. I like all of them.
Yeah. Thank you, Sid Haig.
Can't repeat that joke on here, but it cracks me up every time. Um, but yeah, he talked about like on one end it's great because obviously like he actually talked about recently, and I know I told you to check out the first one before the sequel comes out. But they had Damien Leone, I forgot how you say it. The writer, director, makeup effects, like just almost all in one dude for Terrifier, and they were doing it because the sequel's coming out, and they talked about that. Well, like on one hand, like everyone's very grateful. He's like, because you've made it. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm sitting there seeing Victor Crowley at Target, like action figures, and like he goes, it's cool. Because been in prior episodes he's talked about that where people are always being like, hey, when's the next one? He's like, hey, I'll make the next one when I'm ready. I want to do other stuff other than Hatchet. I don't want to just be the Hatchet guy. Um, James Wan's talked about that himself. For those who probably don't know Adam Grant's works, you probably haven't seen the fucking Hatchet films, and if you haven't, well, go watch them. But for James Wan, the guy behind Saw and Insidious and Conjuring, one of the biggest things with Malignant, when he said he wanted to do Malignant, he did that because he goes, when I did Insidious because I didn't want to be the Saw guy. He goes, I did Conjuring because I didn't want to be the Insidious guy. I'm doing this because I don't want to be the Conjuring guy. So it's like, I think in a way it is they're good. They feel honored, obviously, that hey, we've gone to a point where they want more, but I also want to explore myself creatively and do other shit outside of it as well.
I understand that for pretty much every filmmaker, but Salva should have just been happy he got anything.
Yeah, no, he's an exception. He should have been happy. The fact that he is a convicted pedophile that's been working in Hollywood for as long as he has, and they've been cool with it. He should have been fucking happy. They even gave him money enough to put his film out theatrical. Both of the Jeepers Creepers, the first two, for Christ's sakes.
Well, if we've learned anything from the past few years in Hollywood, is that Salva was in good company.
Yeah, it seems like finally the Me Too movement helped catch up because I haven't heard a peep out of him making anything else since then.
Isn't it weird that it took like that long for people to be like, wait a minute, we shouldn't be working with this convicted sex offender who raped a child like 20 years ago? That's bad.
On a film you can't get anymore. It's out of print.
Yeah, good.
Clownhouse. Yeah, Scream Factory had the option, I found out, to put it out on Blu-ray, and they did consider it because they were like, well, I mean, but then they were like, the controversy's not worth it. They're like, it's not worth it. We're just going to keep it. And yeah, I we've talked about it, obviously, separate art from artists. And in case of Cheapest Creepers, I do separate. But that one's tough because he was, it's a known fact that he was doing it to the child actor he cast throughout production. So that's a hard one to like say like, no, it should be out for people to see. It's like that gives him money then.
I know it is. I'm all about separating art from the artist, but there's something so sick and sleazy about this guy in particular that I have a lot of trouble supporting anything he does, like including Jeepers Creepers. Like I like these movies, but it's hard to convince myself sometimes that like, should I even bother with this? Like, should we just throw this away? But then I watch the movie and I'm like, no, I don't think so, because it stands on its own. It's its own entity. It's not just his movie. It's it's Breckman's movie and it's Ray Weiss's movie. Like it's theirs too.
Yeah, it's tough because like a lot of people, one podcast I listen to a lot, the Horror Crews, they've put it on. They've been asked before about covering these films on their podcast, and they've actually put on like their Facebook thing, like, hey, due to the things with Victor Salva, we will, and they even said we're all about separating art from artists, but because of the things with Victor Salva, we will never cover Cheapest Creepers on this podcast ever. So stop asking. And I get it. I get it. This is the one time. I won't say the one time. Like I said, I do get when people are like they can't do it. I understand. I'm not going to like bemoan anyone that just can't. I get it. This one more than any other case, I should say, I especially get. I understand people like I can't do it knowing what he did. It is hard for me too. I'll kind of get I know we were kind of cracking up because this particular installment too really makes it's almost like Salva was just painting a fucking sign around him about what he did in his past with like the amount of shirtless teenage boys he puts in this movie. Um, but it is hard, but at the same time, it's like I do really like these first two films. I hate the third. I've seen the third one. I hate it. I like these first two films a lot. I saw them before I knew about that, and I remember just really enjoying them as a kid, going, "Oh, I really like these horror films. They're part of that era of horror I love." So it's hard for me to get on that side of like, "Oh, I'm not going to watch it." But at the same time, when I do watch it, there's probably going, "Am I a bad person for this because of the heinous things he's done?"
No, no, you're not. No, anybody who watches this movie is not tainted by association. I refuse to accept that. Otherwise, I've watched every film Roman Polanski's made. Does that make me a rapist? No, it does not.
This is true too. But with that said, to end on like a positive note, like I said, I don't want to go too deep into this. You can watch the first episode. I've already talked about the movie mostly.
Yeah.
With that said, I am very happy to know that, with this new one coming up, they were able to get it out of Salva's hands. To the point where I think if I read correctly, they ensured he's not even getting money from this movie. He's getting absolutely jack and shit from this film. He's not getting a fucking dime. It's out of his hands. He's not involved in any way, shape, or form. I know they had that legal issue with the distribution company for this particular installment. That's been settled. It's coming out. We're getting it. And I'm going to do I saw it's playing in a theater near me. I'm going to try my best to go see it. I want to support this and show that let's give this franchise a chance out of his hands. But at the same time, if it a worst case scenario, if it does do bad and it doesn't take off, well, I understand this particular regard, and like other cases where I'm like, well, were you people to see this movie? Yeah, I'll get it. It's still gonna be a hard pill to swallow for people, but like for those who listen to the show and are on the fence, know that this new one he is not involved. He's not getting money off it. It's meant to be completely away from him. So
yeah,
if you can do that, I say support this new one.
Well, and as far as justifying talking about these films on this show, and I understand anybody who has a horror podcast doesn't want to go into this. I totally understand that. But I like kind of doing challenging shit. I like talking about controversial, uncomfortable films. I mean, a while back we did Song of the South. Like we've made some hard, like uncomfortable decisions on this show. So I say go for it. It happened. I think ignoring the fact that these films exist is unhealthy. And I think just, tackling them head on is the way to go for me. But that's just how I operate. If that's not how you roll, totally up to you.
Yeah.
So he had that loophole, 23 days, 23 years. And ultimately, it was producer, and I can't believe this, Francis Ford Coppola, who produced these films.
I really like the idea for the first one.
Yeah. Unbelievable. He's the one who suggested that they set the sequel within the same 23 days as the first film, thus creating a loophole. So instead of, a 23-year time jump, he's just like, why don't you just set it a week later? Okay, sure.
Actually, it's spaced like 3 days later. So it's only a couple of days later. Yeah. And then, like the third film takes place in between 1 and 2.
So is this new one going to be 23 years later, or is that going to be like?
I believe that's a part of it. Cause it's like a completely new cast. So I think this is very much in both, obviously, people and story wise, they're completely separating themselves from the prior film. Or then, like, obviously, it's going to be in the same continuity.
Okay. So the original story for this movie followed Trish from the first film, who was hunting the creeper for killing her brother, Justin Long, Derry, who, as we remember from that haunting image, got his eyes removed. And it freaked me the fuck out the first time I saw it.
I like how no one, if anyone who listens to this, if you've seen Barbarian, don't fucking ruin it for me. I have not seen it yet because I had a busy weekend. Couldn't get to it. I'm going to try this weekend. But boring until I possibly see that film. Or until I see that film. Until I see that film. I love when Justin Long pops up in horror films. he tends to like die horrendously or shit happens to him. Like, and this one he gets his eyes ripped out, driving to hell. He watches his fucking girlfriend get dragged to hell at the end. Like something dramatic happens to him in horror, and it's I love that just is a thing.
Bart, his actions and consequences in Barbarian trump everything he's ever been a part of in horror. You're gonna know what I mean.
It bugs. I love my parents' stuff, but a part of me was like, oh god, I really want to see Barbarian, especially because of the fucking hype it's been getting out of nowhere.
I gave it 4 out of 5 stars on Letterboxd and an 8 on our site that I'm seriously considering bumping up.
And all this from like one of the co-founders of The Whitest Kids You Know, which is one of the best fucking sketch comedy shows ever.
Dude, comedic actors, when they get into horror, I don't know what happens, but they fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, this is the guy who did things about, Abraham Lincoln getting assassinated because he kept interrupting the play.
Oh, that was fucking funny.
Yeah. Suck my presidential cock.
God.
You have fucked up now. You have fucked up now. You fucked up. You fucked up.
Yeah. So they go from that to one of the creepiest and eeriest horror films of the year.
And apparently a sleeper film that no one saw coming.
I was just impressed with the trailer. I was like, oh, from the producers of It. Ooh, from the producers of The Ring. Ooh, producer of The Grudge. I
just mean like, original horror. The fact that at this point we even get original horror films in the damn theater is awesome. But like they showed like one trailer. There was really not that much hype for this film. And then as it got closer, all of a sudden it's, oh guys, those who saw it early, like, oh, you gotta check this out. This film is fucking crazy. You won't believe what's going on in it. Oh, you gotta see it. And then it's like out of fucking nowhere, the week before it came out, the hype just escalated. And then people saw like, holy shit, you have to see this film. Like, we can't spoil it. The trailer keeps shit hidden. Like, oh, you gotta go see it. I'm sitting there going, I want to see it. The horror fan of me is fucking itching. It's like you can't hype something in this genre to me, and then things pop up over the weekend that cause me to not see it. Now I'm sitting there going, I need to fucking see it.
Well, I hope you see it soon because I want to talk about it.
I'm seeing it I'm doing a fucking double feature with that and Polar this weekend. It's happening.
Nice. So anyway, Trish was going to hunt the creeper for killing her brother, but that didn't end up happening. Jack Taggart Sr., played by the always reliable Ray Weiss, was only supposed to be in the cornfield at the beginning of the film. So that cold open was supposed to be all we were going to get with the Taggarts. The school bus full of teens was going to be a subplot. Salva called it the creeper's lunchbox. Like that was just going to be him picking off teenagers when he needed some extra body parts.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I mean the creeper, not Salva.
I guess look, after seeing this one and Jeepers Creepers 3, like, justice for Gina, dear God. Like 2 sequels in a row where there was like promise that she was going to come back and get revenge for her brother, and it was going to be a thing. And 2 sequels did not deliver on that. In the third one, we got a fucking cameo at the end of the film, promising, hey, in the fourth one, she's finally going to get that revenge we've been hyping up. And then, we never got that fourth one.
Shit. Well, I mean, what happened here was the reason they had to trash that, Gina Phillips didn't want to come back. She said no. So Salva started writing more about the bus. The film shifted focus. Taggart became the Captain Ahab of this story, complete with his own harpoon.
Which, I mean, it's only right when you get someone like Ray Wise in the role. Like you can't just contain that man to one scene. You've seen Twin Peaks, you give him everything you have.
Yeah. Swamp Thing is going to fuck this thing up. He played Swamp Thing in the 80s.
Hashtag my Swamp Thing is Derek Meir. Hashtag not my Swamp Thing.
Oh, ouch.
Hashtag bring back Swamp Thing. Sorry, I'm so mad that we only got one season of a good show.
I know. Other than that, production didn't really have a lot of roadblocks. It was shot in Long Beach, California, over 4 months in 2002. There were some interesting casting replacements, which I will discuss later. But that's pretty much all I got on production of this thing. There's not a lot written about this because a lot of people are just done talking about anything connected to this piece of shit. I get it. Uh, Jeepers Creepers 2 has an IMDb score of 5.6. Not great. Rotten Tomatoes score of 24%. Also not great.
Yeah, a lot of people hate the sequel, but again, I kind of saw these when I was young and it was like back to back. So I like it. I think I do find the first one more enjoyable, but I do enjoy this one.
They're pretty even ground for me. I like them both. Critics' consensus reads Jeepers Creepers 2 is competently made, but it doesn't have the scares of the original.
It's because there's like 5,000 scenes of shirtless teenage boys. There's no room for scares.
Yeah, this is mostly about, what was his name? Scott? Scotty? I want to say Scotty.
Scotty.
Yeah. Is Scotty really the heart of this team? I mean, that's what this movie's about. Is he the victim of reverse racism? I was wondering about that the whole movie. When are white guys going to get a chance at a sport? Am I right? God, what a piece of shit. He was just the worst qualities a human being can have. He had all of them.
Look, I'm not saying there aren't movies where you can have a shitty person as your main character, but when you do that, it's usually they're involved in some kind of trade that's not exactly the most honorable trade. You're watching someone that's inherently a bad guy doing bad stuff, and you can get behind that. Like one that just popped up, it's more recent, but The Gentleman, right? You're watching fucking gangsters. They're not good people. The film at no point hides it from the you, but it knows. Guy Ritchie knew how to make them likable enough for you to go like, these are bad people, but I'm having a hell of a time watching them and seeing how this plays out. In this case, why you would take your main character and make him the worst human being on the planet and be like, yep, this is who we're following. This guy. Yeah, no, fuck that. Give me someone that I like. And when it comes, especially with this cast, give me a couple likable characters. So then you can do the usual pick off the supporting characters I don't give a shit about. And I can get behind their deaths. But then I actually fill it on your main characters. So I did not feel that. The moment the creeper takes them, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Got rid of him.
Everyone on that bus was an irritating, self-absorbed piece of shit I wanted to see die in a horrible way. Hashtag Team Taggart.
Yeah, you cast Ray Rice. Just make him the main character.
Yeah, why didn't you? He should be the focus of this thing, and then he stumbles onto a bunch of douchey teenagers who get theirs. I don't. That's what this should have been.
What if he just starts channeling his inner Bob throughout the movie?
You saw it in his eyes. He fucking did.
Those who don't get that, watch Twin Peaks.
There's nothing but deep Red Room Black Lodge rage in there.
He just starts talking in that weird fucking backwards dialect out of nowhere to the creeper.
Creeper would have run. I'm not fucking with a David Lynch monster.
David Lynch just pops out from around the corner, so it's becoming his character from Twin Peaks, yelling at it.
So despite revulsion from critics, the film was a huge hit, eclipsing the first one by quite a lot and grossing 120 million on a budget of only 17 million. It is currently streaming free on YouTube and Pluto TV, though you may have to deal with ads. But
I watched it on YouTube because I don't have Pluto.
Did you have ads?
No, on YouTube, no.
Oh, well, there you go. I've got the Blu-ray double feature that I got at Walmart once, because of course you can get that at Walmart.
Yeah, I'm probably going. God, I just clicked on what you said. I'm probably on. I hate myself because I know I just talked about it where Scream Factory kind of opted out to Clown House. I understand reasons. They had fucking Blu-rays of Cheapest Creepers 1 and 2. I took too long. By the time I thought, you know what? Let me buy them because I really like these movies. They were out of print, and I was like, fuck me. So I'll probably just get that double feature.
Well, yeah. they'll probably be back. Scream Factory tends to have like, look what we found in the warehouse sales from time to time. So
Well, that and they've been upgrading a lot of their shit to 4K, so I'm just hoping to hear that they'll do a 4K upgrade.
there you go. You'll get yours. Um,
And God damn it, it's so weird.
with that,
In my consensual legal fashion.
Let's talk about the movie. Some highlights. I love the opening to this movie with the creeper hiding as a scarecrow. That was so creepy. And just like when it's looking at the kid, Billy, I want to say.
Yeah, it was Billy.
Yeah. That was unnerving. I like that.
This movie, I haven't seen the first one in a while. I need to rewatch the first one, but with this one in particular, this installment, I noticed, to Salva's credit, directing wise, he did a lot of really neat shots of having the creeper be in the background and only you, the audience, noticing and not the characters.
Yeah.
Which led to a lot of really awesome like moments for me, like that opening shot, or like when they're arguing on the bus, you just see it crawling up into view in the window and just looking at them before anyone else sees it, but you're sitting there going, "Look behind you! Fucking turn around! It's right there!"
When he just grabs the basketball coach in the background, just like absorbs him with the wings and flies off, and nobody notices. Like that was cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff like that.
But the opening where you meet, Taggart and Taggart 2, and Billy gets taken away by the creeper, and dad and brother, they both were like, "You lazy piece of shit, why don't you hurry up?" Like that was the last thing they said to Billy, which was just sad.
He looked like, right, even though he looked like he's doing most of the manual labor in that field, I'm like, how about you guys let him do it? Like, you put the youngest out there to put up a fucking scarecrow. Like, that cannot be easy.
And who was fucking with the post puncher? That was never answered. Because why would the creeper have to mess with this piece of farm technology? One of those kids was fucking with that thing.
Yeah, but I mean, hopefully Billy heard them yelling for him. So maybe he heard that as the last thing they said to him, or there were screams for his name for the last thing he heard before he got launched into the sky.
Yeah, how did they cope with that? Like, I love them just looking like there's no way that just happened. And then,
can you imagine watching a ringed creature just grab your kid and then it's launched to the sky? Your kid's still screaming, and you're like, "Oh, what?"
I hope I don't have to deal with that. That would be nice.
I don't have children. You never have to deal with that.
I'll just stay away from Bannon or whatever state this is supposed to be. So then we go to the basketball team. Everyone's like, "Woo!" But Scotty's in the back going like, "I did this. Where's my trophy? Where's my ring? Where's my blowjob?" Like, I don't know what he wants, but he wants something.
It's so weird. I'm like, you guys won. Why are you brooding? I don't understand. They don't really give a good explanation for why he's brooding. He's just mad.
Yeah, the best he can do is, I'm the only white guy on the team, including the coach. So clearly, I'm not getting enough playtime. Like that's his conflict. That's his whole arc in this movie.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys won. I don't understand. Just get fucking shirtless and sing with the rest of them. Jesus.
Yeah, and then his girlfriend's along for the ride, who he barely talks to, and just I don't get why she's with him.
These scores. Let's be honest. Like, none of these girls, at first thought, well, maybe they're the cheerleaders, but I'm like, it's not established that they're even cheerleaders. Like, why are the girls were there?
Yeah, they're irritated when the guys are doing a cheer. They're like, well, they just shut up. So I don't think they're the cheerleaders.
Yeah, I was like, who? Why are there? And there's only like 4 of them. I'm like, who are they? Why are they here?
Diversity. And yeah, they're just hanging out, and then the bus gets blows a flat when the creeper throws a like fucking bone shuriken at the tire, which was cool.
I do love his weapons. He is really good with those weapons.
I confirmed in the Jeepers Creepers Wikipedia page that the navel that is in the second shuriken does belong to Derry.
I kind of figured.
Yeah, Eesh, creepy. Justin Long belly button throwing star is a phrase I never thought I'd say.
Justin's long belly button made it into the sequel. Oh yeah.
Justin Long made it into the sequel. He's got a cameo when Minxie starts having visions of Derry, so they all know what the fuck the creeper is.
You know what though? I'll say it. Not my favorite cameo. I mean, I really like him in the first one, and I actually do like his cameo on this one. Favorite Justin Long cameo to this day is Zach and Mary make a porno. It the funniest shit.
I love that, but I think my favorite Justin Long cameo is probably in Walk Hard, where he plays George Harrison.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I just sit here while my guitar quietly whimpers. He did such a great job with that voice.
I just thought the whole thing is Zach and Mary. Oh, you're an actor? Are you in any movie scene? Nah, I'm not. Come on, you got me in something. All right, well, shut your mouth before I put a hard cock in it, part 9. He's like, wait a minute, are you yeah.
Oh, funny.
I love the freak out he has on Brandon Root. I'm sorry. I love when you stick your cock in my mouth. Out loud at the fucking reunion.
I don't really like. He doesn't. The whole Minxie thing made no fucking sense at this movie. Like they just needed a reason for everybody to understand the situation, but that's the best they could do.
The Minxie. Oh, with the psychic stuff.
Yeah,
it doesn't it because like the first one doesn't, unless the comics explore like why does he also have a psychic connection to horror films do that, man. It's like when Halloween 4 was like, and look, I like Halloween 4. Wait, no, 5. I'm sorry, Halloween 5. Halloween 5 did that shit where they're like, hey, let's take this really charismatic young lady and make her completely fucking mute unless she's screaming bloody murder, and she's now has a psychic connection to Michael because that's entertaining.
Well, when in doubt, psych it out. They keep doing that. I mean, they could have just introduced, some like Tony Todd style dude just walk into the movie and be like, "Oh, you don't know about the creeper?" Like that. They could have just done that.
Yeah, and it looks like they're kind of building that the guy, the truck driver, looks like he's trying to tell them something like, "Hey, you need to get out of here." So it's almost like it's kind of implied throughout the series that like the town knows something's up, and they just do their best to survive with this thing that happens all the time.
I would just move out of Poho, but I get it. Sometimes you can't just move out of Poho.
I feel like you could in this case. You have 23 years to get the fuck out.
If you can't build up enough like equity over 23 years, you're not doing it right. So they get the bus moving again. I don't quite know how they did that. Like, I don't remember a mechanic showing up again.
She like cherry rigs it somehow, which I'm like, there's no way in hell you cherry rig that shit. Like, he got that tire good. He fucked that tire up.
Yeah, and the creeper did it again because he's like, no, I said stay. So the bus loses another tire with another shuriken, and this time they're like, okay, I think we get the message.
I like that. The crew said, no, what are you doing? Told you to stay, you dicks.
Papa Creep is hungry, so sit down.
Pizza Papa. I don't know why I thought pizza.
Pizza Papa gets paid. Anyway, so now that they're super stranded, because they were just stranded the first time, but now they lost 2 tires, so they're double stranded.
Yeah, now they're not sunbathing.
No, now it's scary. It's nighttime now. And you're stranded during the daytime. You're just like, let's just sun. We're shirtless and hot. Let's do this. When it's nighttime, it's like, oh, now it's scary.
Yeah. It's the sun. We're shirtless. We're hot. We're having conversations about how this guy may or may not be gay because it's early 2000s. Apparently, that was a talking point when you were in high school.
Dude, I just thought of like Cabin Fever and Hostel. Like that keeps coming up in 2000 horror movies. Like, oh my God, one of these guys might be gay. Like, and? So he's not after you. You're an asshole.
Creeper's not hunting down gays. It's not how the creeper operates.
No. He wants deadhead, moron, shirtless dudes. because apparently they taste pretty good.
Oh God, phrasing.
Well, first he kills all the adults, which I thought was interesting. Like, I don't even think he absorbed them. He just wanted them out of the way.
Yeah. Again, I guess like we kind of talked about it earlier off camera. Like this film more than the first one, Salva's almost just like putting a fucking spotlight on himself. Like, this is who I am. Shirtless teenage boys. Let's get rid of these adults. Who needs them? Am I right?
Yeah, all that plus your bad guy's literally called the Creeper.
Like,
And he's licking the glass seductively. Yeah, he was done playing PG-13. Like this, he wanted it. Yeah. God damn.
you just have to expect Salva to just sit there with a sign that says, I am.
He's just like sitting there with a wooden sign that says, "Ask me about my sex offense." Fucking freak.
I don't know why. My mind jumped to accepted.
Yep, that's what
ask me about my wiener. Hey, ask me about my goddamn wiener.
Look at me, I'm happy. I watched that recently. I fucking love Accepted.
That's like, oh, that's my favorite Just Long movie. Honestly, like my all-time favorite one he's on. I fucking love that movie so much.
I love the guy who is there just to blow things up with his mind, and then at the end he's like, "Told you." Justin Song, like, holy shit.
The South Herman Institute of Technology, also known as shit.
They're the shit. Like, I love they're the shit sandwiches. Like, that's their mascot. Like, what a great movie. So first he gets the coach. He's gone. Then the bus driver gets hers, and then I'm assuming the assistant coach or like
yeah, he was like the assistant. I mean,
the geography teacher who had to tag along.
If it's like a small Texas town, it's going. I mean, if small Texas town, your coach is going to be your history teacher. But I mean, football teams generally have like 3 or 4 coaches. So I have like the head coach and like 3 or 4 assistants because I'm not even a sports person, but generally each coach tackles something different. Like one worry about like defensive stuff, one worries about offensive. Wow. The head is in charge of everything. So that's usually why there's multiple coaches. So he's probably like an assistant coach worrying about one of the other things that coach wasn't as worried about.
Sports.
Gotcha. How did I also become like Austin in this show?
Because I know absolutely dick about sports, but Austin's a soccer and basketball guy, and I guess you just have residual information from growing up in Texas.
Yeah, I do.
It's like Manchurian Candidate shit. Somebody says football, all of a sudden you're like, defense. It's just automatic. You might not even be aware you're doing it.
Yeah. Football. Oh, Cowboys, Super Bowl. Oh, woo. Okay. Whoa.
You wake up, 3 hours have gone by, your nose is bleeding. You got a big foam finger on, you don't know why.
I go on a rant about how the Cowboys are going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. They haven't done it since the fucking 90s. God damn it, we're doing it.
It's our year. It's our year. Shit. All right. So around that time, Minxie has her first vision of no-eyed Derry. And Derry's like, let me tell you about this thing that took my eyes. And then he says something off screen, and she's like, let me tell you all what this Justin Long looking guy in my dream said about this monster.
I like the idea of like he shows up to her without his eyes. He's just like, take a seat. I got started. I kind of just told a yawn.
I would love if they did that and then literally showed us the first movie. And then just goes back to the second movie. It's a 4-hour movie. could totally not be.
Oh God, I do like and actually they imply the I was gonna say the nipple thing, the belly button thing, because you get that close up when he's like trying to point away. You get the close up of his ripped shirt with the belly button side, and I was like, oh okay, I guess that's probably why I subconsciously went, oh yeah, this is belly button. Oh yeah, because they actually do that weird close up.
I must have missed that. Once the psychic shit started happening, I was like, oh, I checked my email.
Psychic shit is weird. It makes no goddamn sense in this movie.
And even in the context of the movie, they're like, why should we fucking care? Like, how does she know anything?
which is fair. That's the one time I was like, I'd be the same way. I was like, I don't give a shit about whatever weird thing you got going on. We got a thing trying to eat us out there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, of course, I get that. Uh, Creeper loses half its head. Thought that was pretty cool when he tries to grab Bucky, who is apparently like 500 pounds of like lead weight in his pockets because that creeper could not lift him out of the bus
He was
twice.
having a hard time. Yeah, I did like that. It was like a recurring thing. The creeper was like, "All right, now's my chance." Fuck, damn it.
What is? Yeah, Bucky's lucky.
Before this, before getting this, I did like the part when he pops up at the back of the bus. They all freak out, and he keeps like pointing to them,
Yeah, he's like,
and they're like, and he's like, "No, no, move over." And then the next one points, he's like, "This is a little like, nope, move."
that was so weird and really funny.
It was. Hey, again, Jonathan Breck. He's not in the new one because he's like in his he's in his late 50s now. So he won't be in the new one. They got a new guy to play the creeper.
Is it Breck or Breckman?
I think it's Breck. Is it Breck? Breckman? Jonathan Breck.
Oh, it's Breck. Okay, I called him Breckman earlier. Sorry about that.
Wow. Jonathan Breck. Dude, talk about underrated. This guy ace for as much as I don't like 3, he is good in it. Like he nails this fucking creature he knows how to make it terrifying. Like we were talking about on this scene, he gets the dark humor like spot on with that. Like, yeah, nope, move. I'm not sniffing you. Move over. No, not you either. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, you, buddy. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, the weird like smile he's got the whole time. Like he is just getting off on this. I do love the detail that his eyes are brown now because those are Derry's eyes. I like that detail.
Yeah, well, like he's. I like how they establish he is made up of his victim. He loses something, he's going to take your body part and use it.
Yeah, makes me think like how many centuries worth of reserves does he have in there? Like, can you even you can't take him apart. He's got extra. I love the weird like when he replaces his head with what's his name Dante.
Yeah,
and the spider legs come out and like push out the old head, and the new one comes up his gullet, and then just with Dante's face, and then it just turns into the creeper's face. That was freaky.
That's cool. And that's after you watch him like like we were talking about that scene when he's trying to pull the guy out of the bus, and this kid weighs a lot. When they get him with the rebar right through the head, and he fucking takes out like a chunk of his head. So at first I was like, he's probably just going to like pull it out. And he's like, nope, I'll just take this shit off. I'll get a head later. It's fine. Really, this whole sequence is pretty awesome, I think, in the movie. From like when he takes his head off, when he fly and you see it, and he just looks down there, like half his fucking head is gone. Flies up and just lands, like crash lands on top of this bus. Apparently destroys a good chunk of it too.
I don't know why this was the first thing that popped into my head, but when he's trying to get Bucky through the bus and he can't quite do it, it reminded me of the scene in Batman and Robin where Mr. Freeze throws the fat guy to get his gun back. Remember that?
Yeah. Damn it.
I don't know why, but that was the image that was conjured. So
damn it. I do like the part when they have to get through his wing after he lands on the bus. They are like, because I would have just stayed on my side. I'd be like, yep, fuck that. I'm staying on my side of the bus. Or use the seats. Go under the fucking seats.
I would have just I would have sat there and just tried to look as unappealing as possible. So like maybe he didn't want me. I could just be like, just like start coughing or something. I don't know.
Just like hack off your own body part. If I take something off, he won't want me.
Oh, so after they all go running because he's like, I think he gets in the bus or something, or he like
no, because remember so after that really cool sequence with the wing and that one kid, it's like fucking toilet paper and gets like cocooned and then decapitated. And again somehow ends up with no clothes on, I should point out, in that fucking scenes. God, Salva was not subtle. That's when they have one of the weirdest fucking exchanges I've watched. Of all the things I've seen of characters having discussed like worst case scenario situations in horror films, usually there's a logical, like, series of events that go to that we don't have to do this to survive type of thing. And this one, it's just straight up like, hey, he wants you guys, we'll run, you stay here, or you guys get out of the bus so we can survive the night. I'm like, you piece of shit.
That's what it was. And it all stems from like, because I didn't get to play as much in the championship game. It's like, buddy, you got to let that go. Like, wow.
Yeah. And what I love is someone points out, hey, he also pointed at you, you dipshit. He wants you also. And what I love is that it does not last long. Like they all end up finding a way out of there just for them to see the thing up at the moon and be like, this is a bad idea. We should go back in the bus.
It's like if in Halloween, like Lori and I don't know, Ben Tramer, for instance, were like stuck, Michael's like got them trapped in a closet or something, and they're like, one of us has to go. And Lori's like, it should be you because you stole my candy earlier. It's like, what? We're still talking about that? There's way worse shit happening right now.
There's a psychopath trying to get into your closet.
Yeah. It's like, understand stakes, Scotty. Jesus Christ. Stop waiting for an excuse to get people you don't like killed by this monster.
Yeah, without realizing it also wants you. So you're a good chance you're going to die too there, bud.
Yeah. How do they all end up getting off the bus though? I'm blanking on that.
So some start leaving, then more left because they're like, go fuck your decision, we're leaving. We're sticking as a team then. And then his girlfriend that barely talks to him throughout the movie, they have a big tiff and she goes out with them. And that's when he's like, oh, damn it. I gotta go out because I'm the man. And, he fucking leaves and goes after her. And then one kid stays on because he's determined to be like, nope, the bus is safe. Not leaving.
Johnny. Fuck Johnny. Just letting them all die.
Yeah. I was like, Johnny, you piece of shit.
Except for that one girl he's clearly into because he let her on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Bucky's like, the fuck? Let me in. Wow. There's never any repercussions for Johnny. Johnny should have died for that.
Yeah, he should have. Johnny should have fucking died. But I mean, with that said, I do like the sequence when the creeper is like, you see them like the overhead of them, right? And the creeper just coming in and out of frame. Like the hunt's on. I'm coming after you all now that you're in the open.
And meanwhile, during all this, Taggart is just driving around trying to find this bus. Him and Taggart too.
He took a while to find that bus. I'm like, this is not a big town, dude. And you're a farmer. You've been in this town, I'm going to assume, a long time. You should know this shit inside and out.
I mean, the one highway that's into town? Yeah, probably should have been easy to find.
Yeah, should have been found a while ago there, bud. What were you doing, Ray-wise? What did you get? Did you go into the Red Room? Did you? The Black Lodge? Did you decide to stay before you came out?
Oh, boy. So Scotty gets impaled on the tree with one of those super powerful bone knives. And I love that the guy he was yelling at earlier is the guy who's like, no, hold on, I got this. And it's like jiggling, trying to get it out of his arm, clearly making it hurt. And Scotty's like, I'm sorry, I yelled at you. It's such a pitiful moment for this character.
Yeah,
who then gets flown off into the night.
Oh, yeah. I remember watching going, thank God. As soon as you see him go get grabbed and his screams are echoing in the room, I'm like, okay, World's protagonist gone. Hell yeah.
You know what would have been awesome? The creeper looks at him, shakes his head, and just drops him from like a mile up. Didn't even want him, just like, ugh, leftovers.
I'll come back for you later.
If I'm really hungry around 2 a.m., well, maybe. So now we get Taggart versus the creeper, which is the highlight of the movie. Taggart shows up with his homemade fucking harpoon that he whipped up really fast. And it's almost like this is the first time he's hunted a demon for revenge. It's his old hat.
Back in damn.
Blast this fucker right in the chest. Love that.
Yes, and I always do laugh a little bit because I forget how the creeper actually screams on this part. Like, it's the only time the creeper shows he is in any pain is when this fucking harpoon hits him. You just hear him go, ah!
Well, he's been alive for like I assume, hundreds, if not thousands of years. I guarantee you, no one has ever pulled that shit on him. He has never seen someone launch a spear into the sky through his chest attached to a truck. This is new. This is new territory for him.
I would love the idea of the creeper just freaking out. Just, what the fuck is this? What's going on? The fuck, man?
He's just up there like, ah, just like screaming absolute terror. Get it off. Well, as we learned from the great Major Alan Dutch Schaefer, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah, I do. So I like it when he gets it the first time, but I really like when it's like it comes up on the other side of the bus and he tells the kids, get down. And they don't have enough time to get down. Like, he doesn't even wait. He just shoots the damn thing. He tells them, get down, and then shoots. There's no like delay. Just hope you heard me. And launches that thing, and it goes through the fucking bus into the creeper. He again lets out a scream that makes me laugh every time. Like,
when you're in the battle for the century, you don't have time to wait for 3 kids to duck. You don't have time. Now
I do like that when the creeper screamed this time. You think it was like, shit, not again, fucking hell.
I wonder if he had a moment of like, okay, this one's on me. Like, should have seen this one coming at this point. That guy looks familiar. I think I ate his kid a couple days ago.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You got me this time, pal.
I love that rope cuts the fucking bus in half.
Yeah, what was that rope made of? Like, look, I'm so on the Navy, we have rope that, we tie ships. This is a secret that we tie ships, to the pier to. If you're not careful, those things are big, thick, tight. They can rip you in half at a certain speed. Clean in half.
Can they rip a bus in half?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what kind of stuff is he using that can rip a bus in half?
I don't think it's the strength of the rope. I think it's the fucking weakness of this public school bus. Like, that thing's made of tin or something.
I think this was a scathing indictment on the public education and transportation system.
I would have loved a cutaway to a board meeting about the bus safety and being like, should we change the material the buses are made of? Those things are really thin, and I think in a wreck they can really hurt somebody. And they're like, motion denied. And then we just cut right back to the creeper fight and the bus getting sawed in half by the rope.
I did look, if you're really kids that stay on the bus, apparently terrible idea, because you thought you were safe, and then a fucking harpoon goes through the window, and the creeper is so determined to get out of this a second time that he takes out the bus as well.
Flips that truck. Doesn't kill anybody, amazingly.
No, he doesn't. That was pretty cool, though. I like how son's like, Dad, just get the fuck out of the car.
So then, I want to say I think his name is Double D.
I don't honestly remember, but no one Salva, sure.
God damn it. And Izzy, or isn't he, end up driving in the exterminator truck they find. Because Izzy's like, hey, I'm gonna save everybody. And by the way, would a gay guy do this? Like, he's very determined to prove to this guy that he's not gay. Even when there's a monster hunting them, it's like that's the only thing he's thinking about. You okay there?
That one broke me. Would the gay guy do this?
That's the vibe I'm getting from this movie. He's like, hey, I'm not gay. Watch me show you with my heroics. Like, that's not what we're talking about here.
I'm not gay. I'm going to eat this banana suggestively, and you're going to watch.
Oh, my God. I mean, his plan was just hit the brakes, let the creeper fly through the back of the truck, and then flip the fucking truck.
You think the creeper's sitting there going, worst fucking night? Like,
again, I hope he was just thinking, ah, as he went through the car, as he went through the windshield, just like, oh my God. I would love if he keeps forgetting he's invincible. And he has these moments of like, oh no. Then he's like, oh wait, yeah, okay, we're good.
I just love that you're like think about like he's had pretty like we're assuming flawless nights, right? And then tonight, the last night, he's going, "What the shit, guys? I got a harpoon twice. Just stop the truck on me. Who the fuck does?" I just look at the creeper just breaking down mentally at this point. Like, who the fuck stops a truck? Who does that?
I'm just picturing him like he's missing an arm, he's missing a leg, his head's like splintered, he's been stabbed a bunch of times. He's just lying there. He's like a disgruntled farmer, his dimwit son, and a bus full of meatheads. Yeah, I think I'm done here. Not my best night.
Like, at what point do you think the night went wrong? Definitely when I went through the truck. That was not fun. That was probably the worst part right there.
I wonder if he's also thinking he just has his moment of like, probably shouldn't eaten that 12-year-old. I didn't even need it. I just wanted a snack.
I just got greedy. You think he's well mad himself that he didn't kill anyone in that truck? That everyone survived in that truck, even though they definitely should have died?
Yeah, I bet there was a lot of regret in his eyes because he's never been that broken before.
I mean, like it's a pretty awesome sequence. They're like, what are you gonna do? And he's like, hop the fuck out. And I'm like, no, you're not. And that thing goes clean through the window, flip the truck.
What I'm consistently blown away by is Taggart is a fucking marksman with that thing. He doesn't miss a shot. He gets that thing every single time.
He's good.
Why I think like this is not the first time he's done this shit. Like once there were two creepers, one of them is buried in a well in the other state.
He's trying to get this one. I've come for you next. I'm bringing hell with me. Tombstone reference. I don't like being that guy. I hate people that are like they want to survive that bullshit in movies like this. But holy shit, I got quick side note. No way in hell the guy in the trunk of that fucking truck would have survived that. He flew as hard as the creeper did.
He didn't fly. He got impaled when the truck landed on the back of his fucking head.
Yeah. That thing launched him. There's no way in hell he survived with a couple of bruises.
Also, did this remind you of Jaws? With when Quint's shooting the barrels at the shark and like holding on for dear life. I kept thinking of Jaws with Taggart.
A little bit. Taggart is Quint.
Yes.
He just had the story. That time we were transporting the bomb. The ship.
He just starts telling his own version. He's like, I used to live in Twin Peaks. You ever heard of it? Weird shit goes on there. Demon made me rape my daughter. Enough about that, though. Let's take care of this.
There was a least just all right. That's it. Take care of this new problem. And it was like, wait a minute, sir. Did you just mention the time that you fucked your daughter? Yeah, but it was a demon, not me. I would never do that to my daughter. I loved her.
Her best friend, though, that was me.
All me. She was hot as hell.
Jesus Christ. Okay, we're going down a dark path here. But,
all right.
I love when I almost called.
Sorry, I watched how should the track before this. So,
it's Taggart blast that fucker right in the head, having survived and somehow completely fixed and uprighted the truck.
It is, yeah. Like the truck was flipped.
The truck was fine. The harpoon thing was fine. Everybody was fine.
And about half the football team was with them. So he flipped it back, got it to work. The football team that was scattered about joined him and made their way to the scene of the crime as the creeper is launching himself like a fucking cartoon creature into the air to fucking. You think at that point he's just done? Like he's just like I said, like the most disgruntled he's ever been. He's like, don't have a fucking leg. I don't get a fucking. I'm getting you, asshole. I'm going to eat the fuck out of you when I get to you.
He's channeling his Uncle Sam and just frogging it out, screaming in his head, I want you! As he's going after Anybody. He's got to end this night on a win for him. He's got to. But then Taggart just starts stabbing him over and over, and the creeper's just looking at him like,
I love the look he gives them as like the time is up in the cocoon, which you can tell. Oh, so this is involuntary. He doesn't. This is doing. It's like it's almost like a part of him's going. And your time's up. You're done. You should have done better. You stupid son of a bitch.
Yeah,
like just taunting him the whole time.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing. Better luck next time. I may not go through a fucking truck or I can get impelled like 3 times. And I just love the look he's giving him. Like when I wake up in 23 years, I'm coming after you and your family first. You asshole.
I am ending the Taggart line in 23 years. You motherfucker. You know who I am. You know what I am capable of. Oh, it's creepy.
You will rue the day.
But I also wonder if in that moment, he's having like a reflective moment of like, okay, no more farmers. Too inventive. They can whip up doomsday weapons really fast. And they have nothing better to do than focus on revenge. Yeah, I'm going to the city.
He's taking notes. Never take a farmer's kid. That was a bad idea. Could have had a bus full of fucking teenagers, but instead, this is how my night ends. Got a little greedy. I can admit that. You all make mistakes.
You think when he wakes up and he's like stapled to Taggart's wall, he's gonna be like, fuck you, Taggart.
He's just looking at the harpoon, pointing directly at him, and Taggart looking at him. He's just like, God damn it.
He opens his eyes, double barrel shotgun right here. He's just like, I guess it's gonna be your head. God damn, I wish we'd gotten like, round 2 between Taggart and the Creeper 23 years later. That should have been part 3.
That should have been. That would have been awesome. Apparently, Salva never went in the direction he should have gone with any of these sequels. I know that. I don't know why. It made me think of like in like I think Hatchet 3. Yeah, Hatchet 3 when Danielle Harris after Crowley, they kill Crowley at the end and she just goes off screen for a second and you see Crowley twitch and she fucking comes back with the shotgun. Fuck you! And shoots him right in the fucking face.
It reminded me of the end of Curse of Chucky when Chucky shows up at Andy's place and Andy's just got a gun pointed right at his face. He's like, nope, not this time.
That was great. Season 2 of Chucky next month. Can't fucking wait.
Oh yeah, me too. Fun. So that was fun. I like this movie. I think it's an entertaining ride. I love seeing Ray Weiss just as determined as shit to kill this thing. Never once questioning what it is or how it can survive. Just being like, no, I'm ending this shit. It's like he's just got blinders on.
I will end this thing. I like how like we get a moment of like that scene where like you can tell he hasn't talking in like the day it's been, obviously. And as soon as he hears his son's like, it's out there, he just goes, we must kill it. It is my Moby Dick. Oh, yeah. And I am its Ahab.
Here are some Filmgazm facts for Jeepers Creepers 2. Number 1, Meatloaf was originally considered to play the bus driver. So we could have gotten Meatloaf literally being killed by a bat out of hell.
I would have been down to see Meatloaf. Especially, oh, God damn it. That would have been cool.
Yeah, right? Yeah. He'll do anything for love, but he won't do that. So
anything for love, but I won't do that.
Speaking of casting, number 2, what do you think of this? According to Ray Weiss, he replaced Randy Quaid as Jack Taggart Sr. So this could have been Cousin Eddie versus the Creeper.
That is exciting. I mean, I like what we got in Ray Weiss because I fucking adore Ray Weiss thanks to Twin Peaks. But oh my God, Cousin Eddie, versus the Creeper.
Academy Award nominee Randy Quaid, which a lot of people don't know.
What if like his whole thing, if they had cast him, he's just annoying the Creeper. He's just doing the shit he does in fucking Christmas Vacation. Just do the Creeper now.
I'm just picturing like, Independence Day. Hello, boys. I'm back as he fucks up the Creeper. Harpoon to the face.
Into the face. Oh, the Quaids. Crushing. We got Jack Quaid now, on the boys and Star Trek Lower Decks. They're crushing it in Hollywood. Good for them.
Yeah. And then Uncle Randy is in the wind, and Dennis is just Dennis.
He's always just been Dennis Quaid. He's always just been a staple of Hollywood, and we accept it.
Yeah. I'm glad we got Ray Wise though. He has this intensity that I don't think Quaid could have pulled off.
No, like I said, all joking aside, I know I've been bringing up Twin Peaks a lot because that really was my biggest introduction to Ray Wise. But you're right, it works because the guy knows how to deliver a certain level of insane and intensity like no one else. He's just really fucking good at it.
He acts so well with his eyes, just saying nothing, but just glaring off to the side, like exactly what he's thinking. What's going on in there. It's great performance. I wish he got more high profile shit. He's really good.
Yeah, no, he's awesome.
Number 3, thought you'd appreciate this. Jeepers Creepers 2 is included on Roger Ebert's most hated list.
Of course it is.
Yeah. If it was horror and kind of trashy, Ebert couldn't be bothered.
I don't think he has anything outside of horror on his most hated list.
I haven't looked at the list, but I would probably bet. Actually, there's quite a lot of action movies in there too. He didn't like genre films.
That's what I was about to say. He probably has action comedies and horror make up a large chunk of it.
I'm gonna bring this up again though. I bring this up every time we talk about Ebert because I cannot fucking believe it. He gave Speed 2 Cruise Control 3 out of 4 stars.
As far as I'm concerned, I'll say this: volatile to our opinion. Some opinions I do think are wrong. And if you're going to give Speed 2 a higher rating over Speed, and Keanu Reeves even turned down Speed 2 due to the script, it's one of the few times he's done that in his career. Ebert, your opinion is now null and void to me. Go fuck you're dead, but at the time, go fuck yourself.
And number 4, as revealed in the comics, the Creeper's evil goes back millennia, demanding human sacrifice and having wiped out the Roanoke colony. The Creeper relishes tormenting its victims physically or mentally and shows no care at its actions once accidentally causing an entire town to be destroyed. So he's just a force of nature who loves causing chaos and murder. In present, the Creeper takes its victims and sews them into a hideous patchwork in its lair that it dubs the House of Pain, with some victims still alive when they join the tableau of hundreds of victims. The Creeper regularly slaughters all in its path, target or not, and demonstrates utter sadistic relish in every evil it commits. So there is no soul. It is basically just an inhuman monster killing for the sake of it, which is cool. I kind of like that there's no reason behind this thing. There's no backstory. It's just it showed up and it's been killing ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah, God, I would love to see a adaptation of that, of him decimating Roanoke.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. Again, hopefully there's a good turnout for this new one and we can actually start getting a plethora of various new Creeper stuff.
I'm hoping Prey introduces I want to see some ye old slasher films. You know what I mean? Like a slasher in the 1600s. Have we ever had that?
No.
That would be sweet. I'd like to see
it. I had a thing. I was like, no, we have not.
Yeah. That'd be neat. I'm hoping, because Prey was such a hit that we get more horror films set in the distant past.
That would be cool. I mean, I know we'd get horror films in the distant past, but there's definitely a certain type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I don't want any fucking A24 art film set in the past. I want a hardcore slasher crazy movie set in the past that knows what it is. Something with Robert Englund and.
Hey, I stand by that. A24 for the most part is actually pretty solid this year.
I'm not saying I'm not saying they don't.
I'm standing by that.
Movies. I'm just saying they have a type, and that's
you
what,
also
that's
have,
who would get that. So I don't want.
yes, but you also haven't seen. Yes, I know what you're saying. I'm saying like they've been better than usual this year. I know you haven't seen Bias yet, but I must disagree with Austin. I quite enjoyed Bias a lot.
Cool. Well, when it's streaming, I will watch it. 2017's Jeepers Creepers 3 is largely considered a dud by fans and critics alike. But the new Jeepers Creepers Reborn, the first one out of Salva's hands, looks promising, and I love that the title matches the situation. I'm glad we've been able to reclaim the Creeper from the real life creep who made him. So, going forward, good things.
Yes, as long as obviously there was good turnout for this new one.
Yes, I'm sure that I think it'll have some success on streaming. I don't know about theater, considering the limited release it's getting.
No, I think it's. I don't expect them to look at theater numbers. I expect them to look at streaming numbers.
Yeah,
it's just like what the recent Orphan movie. It got a limited theatrical release along with its debut on Paramount Plus, and you could tell they were mostly looking at the streaming numbers. It did actually decently well for its limited release, but you could tell a lot of it. The look was like, "Hey, how is this going to do on Paramount Plus?" Apparently, good enough to get at the fucking home video release. I learned today.
Nice. I'll be buying that double feature. I don't have the first one. I give Jeepers Creepers 2 an 8. It's a fun movie with some creepy moments and also a great revenge thriller. Who doesn't love watching Leland Palmer hunt a demon with a homemade harpoon? It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no, I give this one an 8. Like I said, I still have a lot of fun. Even though I'm in preference on the first one, I still really enjoy this one. It's a lot of fun. Even with I didn't even think, and honestly, I know we were talking about the inconsistencies with like the truck and the harpoon towards the end there. When I'm watching it, I don't even notice until we talk about it, like, oh shit, yeah, he did flip that truck back over really quick.
Honestly, I just choose to believe that he got like an adrenaline boost and literally just like fucking table flipped that truck and got in like with no problem at all.
Everyone get in, we gotta go.
Ah! Like, yeah, I buy that.
It will not escape tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Oh God.
Yes.
Also check out Josh's recent reviews on 2018's Halloween and 2021's Halloween Kills. He liked one, really didn't like the other.
The segues we just did, one on top of the other. Yeah, no, I know all about how he does not like Halloween Kills.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like the show, feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest film stars to check out, you can send us a message there, or you can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com. Check out the site where we have reviews, articles, trailers of upcoming films, and every episode of all of our shows. If you want to support the show through Anchor, you click on Support This Podcast on your preferred provider. We appreciate it. Next week, our random picks continue with one of the scariest movies to come out of Japan. A film that's been remade in America twice, neither of which hold up to the scares and atmosphere of the original Japanese work. A vengeful, fearsome spirit has taken hold of the house in which it was killed and latches on to anyone who comes inside in a film that spawned a giant Japanese franchise, 2002's Ju-on the Grudge. Sorry, I got a notification, got distracted, fucked that up. But you know what? We're over 200 in. Who cares?
Because at first you said who comes inside it. I mean, who comes inside?
I did not say that. Did I say that? Well, fuck it. You know what?
But it sounded like you said. That's why I started laughing. I'm like, oh, that's not the same Ju-on I watched. That must be a different version.
If you're gonna fuck the Grudge ghost, you get what's coming to you, frankly. So
I make that good joke. Advice. I make that joke, but there's the porn parody involves fucking the damn ghost. You know it does.
It's the ghost of a beautiful Japanese woman. Of course it is. I don't want to see that because I don't need to see that. But that's not what we're doing next week. Next week we're doing the real deal, Ju-on the Grudge from 2002. Unfortunately, it is not streaming anywhere for free. We are going to have to rent it, but it's worth it. I remember, did we watch this one together or separately and talked about it?
Separately and talked about it because I watched it on Netflix when you could stream it for free. So it was on Netflix. And I texted like, dude, you got to watch the original. Because I had seen the remake first as a kid because my humongous crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar as a child. So I was like, ooh, I got to watch this. And then I, learned, oh, hey, it's based off this, Japanese movie. And then, I watched Japanese film and then told you.
Yeah. I remember I did a double feature of Ju-on and Ringu and had trouble sleeping that night.
Yeah,
Because those are two scary as shit movies.
I think we did Ringu together. So I think I may have watched separate, and then I did the double feature with you.
Okay. Yes.
I do remember watching Ringu with you.
Cool. Yeah, that was fun. Good times.
I slept like a baby that night. I don't know why you had issues.
Japanese horror, something really weird and freaky about Japanese horror movies that really gets under my skin, and I like them a lot. Everything I've seen from Japan, I've really enjoyed. This is a creepy fucking movie. I'm excited to dig into its production next week. That'll be really fun. Don't miss the 2014 action thriller Everly on Fridays Beyond the Bad, and a Best Picture showdown on the revenge epic Gladiator on Oscar Sunday. Until then, try your best to be a team player. And if you're a creeper, don't steal any kids from a determined farmer who knows how to whip up a homemade harpoon in less than a day. As for the rest of you, keep watching movies.